guys, this is Jessica and welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I would kind of show y'all my process on how I get my cross stitch going. I have a lot of people say, oh, you're so talented, you do such a good job, and really it's not that difficult to do, but I just got a new kit in, so I thought I would show you guys how I started off and everything. So if you are a new subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, and if you haven't yet, go ahead and click that subscribe button, and don't forget to click the bell right next to it so you get notified of whenever I post new videos. Also, if you want to add me on social media, everything is in the description box down below, guys. So the first thing that you are going to need to buy separately is your hoop. This is just a standard wooden hoop. They have several different kinds of sizes that you can get. Basically you just unscrew this right here, and it's two different rings. Like I said, they have different sizes. They have wood, they have plastic. It's whatever you feel comfortable with. Also, you're gonna need a little pair of scissors to cut thread, like so. Then you are gonna want to get whatever kind of pattern that you want. Now there are two different kinds of kits that you can get. This is a counted cross stitch. Basically it has a pattern in it and you count the number of spaces that you will need. They also have a stamped one, which the stamped one, the image is stamped on your fabric, so it's a little bit easier to follow. I personally like the counted one. I just like it better. So I got this from Hobby Lobby. This is a Vincent Van Gogh Starry Night cross stitch pattern. Originally it was $50, but Hobby Lobby had a coupon for 40% off, so that's what I got. So we are just going to open this up and I will show you what all comes in your package. So you're gonna have your things of thread like so, and here is all the thread that we will need. Now you can see it's going to be mostly the blues and things like that. They don't give you as much of the white or the brown, but you know, we'll make do. So you have all of your threads. Now whenever you get your threads, don't try to keep them organized. I just like everything organized, but whenever you get ones like this, the number at the top is the color that it goes with. So like this brown one would be number 1. White would be number 2, and the arrow points down so you know what color and what number goes with what. So we're just gonna put our thread over to the side. Then, oh, here's some more thread that we have. So there's a lot of colors. Then we have this right here. Now I don't know if you can see it, but it has our needle in here. So I'm just going to take it out, so don't lose your needle. That's what you're going to be using. So I'll put that to the side. And here is our fabric that we are going to be using. So as you can see, it's going to be a good size project. So I'm not sure if it's going to be this way or this way. Looking at the picture, it looks like it's going to be long ways. So this will be on that side. And if you want to keep this as a reference, you can. Usually I just throw this away. Then it has this little sheet that comes in it, and it kind of just tells you how to go about it. And it's in English and all different languages, but it kind of just shows you how to do a back stitch, and it just explains how to do a cross stitch basically. Then we have our pattern. So here is our pattern right here. Now it's a good size pattern, so yes, it's going to be long ways. So if you look, I don't know if y'all can see, but each little square is color coded. So basically down here you have your key that you're gonna use. So like for number 1, right here, number 1 thread, which is the brown thread. I'm gonna see if y'all can see it. But down here for number 1, I think it's right here, it's a brown square with 3 diagonal dots. So basically, you're gonna follow this key by the key down here. And that's pretty much it to follow this. So this is a beginner one, so this is just going to be, you know, the 2 thread basic. Now you have a 2 thread, you have a 1 thread, you have a lining thread. There's all different ones, but this is just a simple 2 thread one. You're not gonna outline anything. It's one of the easiest ones that you can start off with. I know it may look intimidating, but trust me, it's not. So what you want to do, this already, it's been folded in half already. So, but what you want to do is you want to fold it in half. Then you want to fold it over again. Then I am just going to take my needle and I'm going to poke it through the hole, basically. That is going to be the middle of this project. So you can open it up and you can see where basically the middle is, which it looks like the middle was right here. So how to decide where the middle of your project is to start. On your pattern right here, you have arrows. I'll see if y'all can see, but there's an arrow right here, and then there's an arrow right here. Basically, you want to follow those arrows until you meet in the middle. Sometimes this is kind of tricky. So I'm just going to follow this. And if you need a ruler or something, or just something to keep a straight line, you can use that too. So right here is our middle, right here is where we should be starting. So usually what I like to do is I just take a pin and I kind of just mark it if I can. And then what I like to do is I like to look around that area and see if there's any clumps of the same symbol that I can start stitching first. So now that we have our starting point, one of the things that you want to do is you kind of want to block off these edges that are not sealed, because if you don't, they are going to start to fray and get tattered, and you're going to start to lose inches on the side. If you have a sewing machine, you can go ahead and just you know, kind of just like sear it and, you know, do a border around it, and that will stop it. But one thing I like to do is I get some tape and I just tape around the edge. So I just have some packing tape right here, and I don't need to do this edge right here because it's already sealed off. So I'm just going to take my tape and I'm just going to flip it and fold it over, and that will kind of stop the edges from starting to fray. So I'm just going to do that around all of my fabric. Okay, so now I am just going to put my ring on. So part of the ring that goes underneath is just the solid hoop. This is the screw that you use to tighten it. That is going to go on top. So we have our mark right here that is the middle. So I'm just going to take the solid hoop and put it underneath right in the middle. Then you just want to get this as loose as possible. This screw, it comes out if you want to take it out. But you just want to start it. Then I'm just going to take this and press it over the hoop underneath. And I can see that it's very loose on it, so I am going to tighten it up a bit so it's a little bit easier to fit it. And you don't want to get it tight because then it's going to pull it, but you just want it to fit comfortably over that second ring. And when you have it, you can start to tighten it. Sometimes it's a lot of work. And it also depends on the fabric. Like, I can tell this fabric is not as thick as other fabrics that I've had before. So you just want to tighten it until the ring is not gonna move. And it's okay if you get this wrinkly or anything, because after you're finished, you can just iron this out. So we have our middle, and I can see there's this hole right here. That is going to be our middle area. So I'm gonna get y'all to come closer so I can show y'all how we are going to get started. So I have my pattern right here. So I think I'm going to get it going with these little blue ones right here. I don't know if y'all can see, but so here is our middle section right here, right? So I think I want to do a little bit of these blue ones just to get going. So it is a blue square with kind of a diamond in it. So then we're going to come down to our key down here, and that looks like it'll be number 7. Number 7 right there. So what you want to do is you want to find your thread that is number 7. Now I'm not going to do a lot of these little blue ones to start off with, just some that are in the general area, so I don't need a lot of thread for that. So I'm going to take the first number 7 I have right here, and basically for this entire thing you want to double up. So basically for this cross stitch, everything is going to be just a regular old cross stitch. So that is using 2 threads. Now you can, cut 2 pieces of threads and, tie them together. I'm going to show you a much easier way to do that. So I'm just going to get some of the thread right here. Not a lot, like I said. Actually, let's double it back around. Okay, so I'm just going to take my scissors and cut the thread. Now, if you were to see down here on the key, it would have a just a one diagonal line, that would mean that this would be just a one strand thing. You could tie a knot at the end of this, and you would just use just one thread. Now for this whole thing, we're just gonna do the original cross stitch, which is a 2 thread. So instead of cutting 2 of the same pieces, what I like to do is I just fold it in half, and I make sure that the ends are even, and then you have your two strand thread. Then what I like to do is I'm going to just lick the tip of this thread, just because it's easier to thread like that. And if there's any thread that's like this that I can just cut off because it's not even, I'll do that. And I lick it again, and I make sure it's good. And then we are just going to thread it through our needle. Now, if you're not very good at threading, you can buy a threader to do it, but these needles for cross stitch, the eye, it's not a really tiny eye, so I think that you'll be okay, but it's whatever is comfortable for you. Right in the middle is not the color we're doing. So what you want to do is you want to find a good starting point. So right next to where the middle of our piece is going to be is this blue color that we're using. So I'm just going to find my middle, which I believe is right here. Let me see. Y'all can't see. Here is the mark that I used right here for the middle of this project. So I need to go 1 over. So basically I just count 1 space over, and that's where we are going to start. So you just want to come from the back side with your needle, and then you just want to pull it through, but don't go all the way. Then you're at the bottom part of this square. So you go bottom left to top right. And then we're gonna flip this over, and you see there's a tail right there. We're gonna pull our needle through, and we have a little loop right here. So then you just want to take your needle and pull it through. Then you can flip it back over, and then you want to go, you see where our thread is? What, oh, can you see? So you want to go from bottom left to top right, diagonally. Then you come at the bottom right here. If y'all can see my needle, I don't know if y'all can, but right here, then you go bottom right to top left. And there you have it, your first cross stitch. So what I like to do is I take my pin and I see where that one is, and then I just mark it out. Then basically you just follow the pattern. So I see that my next square is going to be diagonal to this one near the bottom. So basically you're just following this pattern. So then I'm just going to go 3 squares over. Now once you get the hang of this, it will be so easy for you. And if you are a beginner, I do suggest going left to right. Right now I'm going right to left, but I have been doing cross stitch for a while, and I just do it the way that I like to do it. But definitely if you're just starting, go left to right. Now again, I am getting close to this thread being done. So I will show you how I end it. I mean, basically, if you can follow a pattern, you can do cross stitch. It's pretty easy. Now, you want to make sure when you are about to tie off a section that you want to have enough thread to do it. And if you make a mistake, it's okay. You can just take out the thread and fix the mistake. So I'm done with my little section that I just did. So now I'm going to show you guys how I finish this. Not everyone does it this way, but this is just the way I like to do it. So I pull my last square through. I flip it over. So I did my last square through. So now you see this is the back part of our cross stitch. So we have a couple, you know, things back here. So what I like to do is I take my needle and I pick up some of the thread on the back. And I take and I have my needle through the thread right there. I take it and I pull it through, and then we have a little loop right here. I take my needle and I go through the loop and we pull it. And that should secure it, but for safety measures, I take my needle out and I just tie a little knot at the back. Then I take my scissors and we trim it. And that is basically how you do a cross stitch and how you get going on doing a cross stitch. So I will do updates throughout on this project for you guys if you would like that. But yeah, so I kind of just wanted to share how I get started on doing my cross stitch for you guys. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment down below if you would be interested in more videos like this. So thank you for watching, guys, and I will see you on the next one.